Hello viewers, welcome back to Ohio Airgun Shooter, Black Powder Revolver Edition. In the previous video that I did, I just took my 1858 model, New Army model revolver. This is a Remington replica, and did a little shooting out in the woods with it. Just this is one of my other passions, is just black powder revolvers. And it just kind of takes you back in time a little bit, and just something that I enjoy. But the only downside to black powder revolvers and shooting them is how dirty they get. So pretty much after every use, it's recommended to clean them. I mean, if you shoot these for such a long period of time without any cleaning, they'll start to seize up on you just because of all the buildup. Especially a lot of people, they'll put like Crisco oil, on the end of each chamber here to prevent chain firing. But what I use instead are the Wonder Wads. So I'll just put black powder, my ball, and then I'll put it's a slightly lubricated wool wad, and I'll just put one of those over each, and that seems to work just fine. And it's a little less dirty in my opinion. But anyways, I'm just gonna break this down a little bit and kind of show you my cleaning procedure. Let me zoom out a little bit. There we go. But first thing you want to do is kind of half cock it, so your cylinder moves freely, and then you lower the rod here. This is for loading, which I'll reload this after I'm done cleaning it. And then you just drop this down. You don't want to go clear into the cylinder, so you kind of want to, at least a half. That way it just kind of sits there. Pull out your cylinder pin, and then it just rolls right out. You can see how dirty that is. And then just gets really dirty in there, so just requires a lot of cleaning. Your nipples here, I'll remove these. I already have two removed, but you want to remove each one of these with a nipple wrench. They sell a lot of replacement you can buy just new nipples pretty much anywhere they sell black powder items. I find out that pretty much all these are interchangeable. Like, I think I bought a pack of Traditions, and they're pretty standard. I think most of them are all made in Italy or wherever they make these, but the threads are all the same. Just always double check before you thread them all the way in. One more. What I'll do with these is, these things are kind of hard to clean because one, the holes are so small. I mean, you make these little picks. And you can use these to help clean out the nipples. You want a very clean nipple when when the gun's loaded. That way you got a very clean hole for maximum bang from the caps when you put on. And these are number 10 size percussion cap nipples. So if you try to use like a number 11 caps, they'll be too loose and they'll just fall right off. But what I like to do with these, once I get them all picked, just kind of run through, get out what you can. Now the Pyrodex is supposed to be less corrosive than the actual black powder, but I still I still recommend cleaning, because everything's not 100%, probably not non-corrosive or whatever. But I'll just run this pick through, and what I like to do when I'm done doing this, what I have here, I don't know if you can see it, but a bucket of water with some Dawn dish soap, and I'll just drop these in and let them soak a bit. So we'll just let those soak a while, and I'll scrub them up good with a little toothbrush that I got. Try to get the firmest that I can, and then we'll just let those soak. And then the cylinder, I'll pretty much do the same thing. I'll just drop it in there, let it soak a bit, and I'll clean it out with a scrub toothbrush, and I'll run a brush. I got one of these brushes here, and I'll go in and I'll clean out each one of those too. But yeah, I just pretty much drop those in the hot soapy water. Dawn's some pretty good stuff, so. And then we come to the revolver. I mean, there's a lot you got to clean on this pin. It gets built up around it, which will make it really tight coming in and out. And if it gets too much built up, your cylinder won't even spin. And you got to clean up around the hammer here. Of course, the barrel's full of gunk, I'm sure. I don't know, maybe I can get a light in there you can see. See, it's pretty dirty in there, so I'll have to clean that out. Up around here, it tends to get rust in this little area here. You can clean that really good, and around the barrel. Down here, the cylinder lock, and all your indexing mechanism back here. So, I got some cleaning to do. I mean, outside ain't too bad. I only did 6 shots, so it's not as dirty as it would get with shooting 2-3 cylinders. So yeah, this here I won't drop in the hot soapy water. You can remove the grips too and do all the cleaning as well, but it doesn't get a whole lot of dirt back in here or from the powder. It's just pretty much around wherever the mechanisms work. So I'm gonna scrub this up some. So I'll just take the toothbrush. Sometimes I'll take a little bit of hot Dawn dish soap, the soapy water, and I'll scrub. But I have these cleaning patches from Traditions, and sometimes I'll use this. I use this for my air guns. This is just some bore scrub, moly paste, except or whatever it's called there, cleaning compound. So this helps clean as well. But that's pretty much it. I mean, again, downside of shooting black powder is you got to clean it pretty much. I mean, even normal firearms, with the smokeless powder, you still got to clean. But these just require a little bit more attention. And you know what? After you shoot, just spend a nice evening or whatever. Just get yourself a glass of whiskey or coffee or whatever it is you like. Mountain Dew, and then just have a nice calm evening, afternoon of cleaning your revolver. So yep, that's pretty much what I do. I'll get it all cleaned up, put everything back together, and then we'll go ahead and load it. All right, thank you. Please like and subscribe. So I cleaned everything up, got the nipples all cleaned up, cylinders all cleaned up. And I got the revolver all cleaned up. Let's see, you can even see the barrel. Let me see if I can get, let me see if we can get you a little shot of the barrel here. There we go. See, it's all nice and shiny and clean. So, my little light here. So what I'm going to do now is, I don't know if you can, maybe I can get some light in this nipple too. Let me see, kind of see that. Let me see, you can see through there. See the hole, nice and clean. So a little bit of Dawn dish soap and some hot soapy, the hot soapy water really does well. And then I'll blow these out with some air, or just kind of clean them out, and then I'll just let them sit and dry. Or like today it's cold and snowy, I can set everything right on top of the furnace vents, and they'll dry nicely just with the flow of air. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the nipples back in the cylinder, and what I'll do is I'll take this breech plug nipple grease, and then I'll put a little bit of this. Let's shake it up first. It's been sitting a little while. Just set some here on a paper towel, and then I'll just take and put the threads dip the threads. It's a little runny, but there we go. Got some on there. The thing is, you just gotta be careful not to, maybe take a little bit on my finger here. Just kind of go around the thread. Just put a little bit on one side, and then you can spin it in. That just keeps them from seizing up with the heat. There we go. I'll just get that baby started. I like to just do one at a time. Careful not to cross thread. There's one. And then just do it 5 more times. That's probably plenty there. Now these do kind of thread in a downward angle. Like when they go in, they're kind of angled in this way. There's 2. So I'll just do the rest of them, and then I'll be back. There. Got them all back in. One thing I like to do is I'll shine some light That way you can try to just kind of make sure you got light coming through them all. Kind of see they're all cleared, so that's good. And you're pretty much ready to reinstall it. What I like to do is I'll put a little bit of this nipple grease on the cylinder rod as well. Doesn't take a lot. I mean, just a little goes a long way. Just helps keeps everything moving freely. I mean, black powder revolvers such as this, you don't want to oil them. You don't want a lot of oil on them. The drier, the better. I mean, you can put some oil like down in here where the spring, you know, kind of the hammer moves maybe, but you don't want a whole lot of gun oil on them. So, and once that's that, like, just ready to reinstall it. I mean, unless you have a cylinder loader, that way you can load it outside of the gun. I don't have one. I just like loading mine in the revolvers. So just get this baby lined up, put the pin back in. You can run it through a couple times just to lube it up. Already half cocked, and then just kind of give it a nice little spin there. You got a little extra grease and stuff, but you could just leave it on, or it won't hurt it. But all cleaned up, lubed up the best we can, and now we're ready to load it. Yeah, you have different loaders where you can stand the gun up like this. You know, they'll be made out of wood, and I think they just have the loaders where you can just put the cylinder down and just load each one. But I don't have one. I just been loading them in the gun. So I mean, you got the loader right here, so why not, right? So let me get set up for that, and I'll be back. Alrighty, all set up for the reloading. What I have here, I'm going to be using Pistol Pyrodex. They do sell these pellets, but I found that just putting these in here and just using a cap, a lot of times I don't get a complete fire for some reason. I don't know if the caps aren't hot enough for the pellets, but I haven't had a whole lot of luck with these. I mean, I'll have some that shoot really well, but you know, then it just, you know, there's some that just doesn't seem like I get a 100% ignition for some reason. I don't know, it's just because these are harder, but I'll show you what these look like. But I'm sure these would probably work better with like a 209 primer or something, or maybe even a hotter I mean, I'm sure they have hotter caps, but with the caps that I use, it just doesn't seem like they ignite very well. So for my pistols, let me put all this back. Alright, we won't use those. I like to use just the loose Pyrodex powder. Now the P stands for, pistol. They do have rifle shotgun, but this, here you can see. But I believe this is supposed to be slightly less corrosive than your standard black powder. But and then I'll be using I got my measuring hair device. I'll be using just 30 grains, and then I got this little cap you can put on the top of the powder here. screws on there nicely. Has a little cap on it. And then I'll put the powder, and then I'm gonna jump up to the 4.454 and use a 45 caliber, but you know it's a 45 caliber bore. So even though this says 44 caliber, it's 45 caliber. You can, with the cartridge conversion, you shoot 45 Colt. So, and then I use these. After I got the powder and the ball in, I'll put one of these on the end. These are just little Wonder Wads, felt wads. They're slightly lubed, and I'll put one of those over each chamber on the outside. You know, it keeps it nice and sealed, and then also when you're shooting, it prevents the cross chamber firing, which, you know, for those of you who don't know, if you could shoot and then a hot ember or something may jump into the chamber, the next chamber over, causing that one to fire as well, or any one of these, which, you know, is a very bad thing. So always, you know, if you can, put something over top of each chamber to prevent that. So first thing you want to do is make sure, you know, you're already empty, of course, no caps. Half cock your hammer to allow this to free spin, you know, spin freely, as you can see here. Open up my balls. I'll show these. It's just a typical lead ball. And these are 44 caliber, but they're bored .454, so it's basically a 45 caliber. Set that there for now. These are Hornady brand. I got my measurer set to 30 grains. Just pop off my little cap here. Just right about to the rim there. So right about there is your 30 grains. Just take your revolver. Let me zoom out a little bit more here. See if I get some better lighting. Oh, there, that's a little better. And just because it don't matter which way you do it, but go ahead and pour that in. Take one of your balls. Make sure you don't forget which chamber you put the powder in. You can see I got it in that one there. This isn't the most professional, but you know, it gets it done. There's your ball. Alright, where are we at now? Where's my powder? I guess you should do it from the other side, huh? So, because it doesn't only spins the one way. So let me switch to this side because you rotate. All right, let me fill my powder again. There we go. All right. So, ball. So your little push rod is seated. And you just, there you go. Make sure it's seated firmly. You may get a little ring of lead, which I didn't on that one, but it is seated firmly. And then you just, go to the next one. So I got to do each one of these individually since I don't have a stand. So just refill up some more powder and then do it 5 more times. Or I'll do that again to show you. It's time consuming. I mean, you can buy other cylinders and have them preloaded, but it's a little. Oh, it might be a little bit hotter, but still about 30 grains. You can see here. But, so that one's done. So the next one, powder. Lead ball, rotate. That will sit right on there. Seated. Go to the next. Now you can make preloaded paper cartridge loads for these, which would help make reloading a lot quicker in the field. But we ain't got anybody shooting at us today, so pretty much do it at your own pace. So right now I got 3 loaded up. I'll just go ahead and do them all on video here. Just make sure you don't forget to put the powder in before you put the ball in. I have never done that yet, but you just don't want to forget where you're at. That's right, about 30. There's your 30 grains. So, okay, where are we at here? 1, 2, 3. There's number 4. This is kind of fun and satisfying, just being able to do this. And that's 4, so I got 2 more. Whoa, it's too much. Yeah, we don't need it that hot. I mean, if you overfill it, once you turn this, it will level it off. Just hold it over a trash can or something. If you go, or dump what you can back into the little canister there. So, okay. So let's got 1 more. I'm sure many of you have seen this dozens of times on videos, but maybe some of you are seeing this for the first time. This may be something you want to get into as a firearm alternative. I mean, these things here you can pretty much just buy off the shelf. You don't need an FFL or anything, you know, depending on your state and local and your country laws. So this is one way to enjoy firearms, and you know, just the old-fashioned way. So if you have an appreciation for history such as I do, this might be something for you. So there, we got 6 of them loaded up. So now what I'm going to do is take 6 of these. So they're like a felt waddy, and they got a little bit of lube on them. And I'll just put them in. I mean, you can almost just put them in with your finger. And then what I'll do, I'll just put them all in, and then I'll just push them in the rest of the way once I get them all in. So a lot of people, when they're shooting these, they'll use like Crisco grease or whatever, and just, you know, wipe a little bit on with their finger. I mean, I'm sure it's quicker when you're shooting out there instead of just doing it like this. I mean, unless you got them all preloaded, but it gets a little messier with the Crisco. So once those are in, just kind of go in and you can just push them all in. That just kind of helps. So it keeps it clean in there, and it keeps them from you know, prevents chamber crossfiring. So now it's loaded, but technically it isn't loaded because you have no caps. Now on this, between each nipple you have a little notch where you can rest the hammer, so you can actually have a fully loaded gun with the caps and a place to rest your hammer. So then, you know, when you do cock, it's already set up. It won't index to the next notch. It will just index to the nipple, and you're ready to go. So just leave that on half cock, and that there is how you load an 1858 Remington New Army revolver, black powder, 30 grains Pyrodex, a 4.454 lead ball, and then muzzle loader. I don't know if they even still make these muzzle loader originals, all natural felt wad. They're center lubed, so you can use these on a variety of things. So this is for 44, 45 caliber, and yeah, it's pretty good. So all ready to go for another round of shooting whenever, you know, I feel like going. So could be another 6 months, who knows. Just get out whenever I can. So, but just thought I'd share my other passion with you. Next video we'll be back to air guns. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.